Hi, my name is Harvey Warner, and I'm going to be showing you how to hire $3 per hour appointment setters, which will allow you to scale your coaching, consultant, or your agency business while you focus on systems, fulfillment. And this is exactly what we use in our agency to scale our own outbound prospecting campaigns, so we can sort of focus on other things while we do this. So the reasons why you should outsource is it frees your time as a business owner. So, like I just said, you can focus on other parts of actually scaling your business, which is a lot more key and fundamental than actually just outreaching to people. Even just building the systems behind the outreach, the scripts, the follow ups is going to be a lot more beneficial if you have time to do that rather than you having to send outreach and not getting time to do other stuff. Okay, allows you to scale outreach. Again, you can hire different appointment setters, which means you can go from doing, let's say, 20 a day to 100 to 200. I think right now we're scaling 200 plus every single day, which, I mean, if you the more you send, the more you're going to land once you have a good outbound prospect, you have a good offer that fits a niche, etc. And then finally, you cannot scale your business if you don't. If you're wrapped up in every single entanglement, you're having to outreach, you're having to service deliver, you need to outsource this stuff. Okay, and it's completely key. And if you don't do this, you can't actually just scale. Okay, so that's the main reasons. I will preface before we go on, if you are new to, let's say, coaching consultants or an agency and you've never outbound prospecting before, I would not recommend you get a $3 per hour appointment set. Okay, these people are here to automate your business. They do not know how to build an outbound prospecting campaign, so I wouldn't recommend you do that. Instead, I recommend you go get a growth team specialist. Okay, and I have videos on this on my channel. So people that have never outreached before, I'd recommend you go do that because you do not have the knowledge right now to outbound prospect. So I'd learn a little bit more about that, and then we can come and obviously hire appointment setters. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you that exact steps on what you need to do. So firstly, we're going to use an Upwork account for this. I'm going to show you the Upwork method. Do the exact same on Facebook groups, Discord groups, anywhere that you think an appointment setter would be located. So groups are a great place to leverage. Upwork, I know other different sites like freelancing sites are an amazing place to actually find this. Just do it anywhere, okay? But I'm going to solely show you Upwork because that's how we do it within our agency, okay? So you just make an account, an agency account. This will allow you to hire the talent. So just add your company name, your profile, put in your details, and you will have an account. Okay, most people already have an account on them. And I'm going to run you through exactly how we're going to do this. So let me go into Upwork myself. So we want to start with our headline. So VA appointment setter. So this obviously calls out who we're trying to hire at the moment, supposed to job. So we want long-term work because obviously they're going to be we want to work with them for a very long time. So your job post is obviously going to be an appointment setter. And then under here, what we're going to do is list these requirements. Okay, so for here, we can just see all categories. I think general virtual assistant, that'll be fine. And then the skills is just whatever you want your appointment setter to do. Okay, so let's say your appointment setter needs to be a cold caller. You could go with phone communication. Let's say you're going to do email outreach. It could be an email communicator. Let's say it's social media, a social media communicator, etc., etc. A few key ones here. I've got appointment setting, list building because you want them to put the data inside of the tracking sheet. Writing, English, communications, anything that you think fits. There isn't like a set structure. It depends on what you're trying to get out of this. Okay. Um, so just a few things you can just write whatever you want. Okay. So it could even be like social media setups and stuff like that. Account setup, right? Account integration, advertising stuff. Just different stuff that you think's going to you need in your appointment set because everyone's going to be different. And for a lot of people, you could go full email. So it could be email campaigns, it could be email copywriting, it could be email design, it could be email automation, it could be whatever. Okay, email campaign setups, etc., etc. Okay, so it's whatever you're looking for. So let's just go with whatever this is now. The scope, we want to go for 6 months. More people will come to you if it's a longer term work because people want stability in the work. They don't want a 1 to 2 month job when they could have got somewhere else for 6 months. Okay, so it makes more sense for them to choose with 6 months. And then what we want to do here as well is go for intermediate. Okay, because if we go for expert, we go for the top of the top, and most of the time they're not going to be working for $3 per hour. So what I'm going to show you as well is how we're going to train some of these up to be an actual specialist inside of our agency. So entry is too low, there's no point. Intermediate's what we're looking for, okay? It gives that broad spectrum. Is this a job to hire? Yes, we want to do that. Again, it makes people feel more comfortable applying for the job because they could actually get hired. We need to make sure that we're targeting worldwide, because we can go from any country. I've worked with from every single country. They're all pretty much the same. Most of our VAs right now, I think, are from the Philippines, but we've had Indians, most of them countries, just wherever. If you have a preference, put in your preference. But most of the time they're going to be from anywhere, and they can all sort of do the exact same thing. Okay, so next we want the budget. So hourly rate, we're going to do $3 per hour. So $3 to $5, because then some people will apply for 5, and we just tell them it's free. Okay, so it's just giving that spectrum of it. Then we want to put in the description here. Okay. So for the description, I'm going to copy and paste it in, and I'm going to explain exactly what it means. Okay, so we start off at the start. So my name is X. I'm the founder of. I am X. I am a founder of X. Okay, so your business, you want to explain what you do, how you do it, so they can sort of understand the process of what they're going to be doing for you, what they're selling for you. If you're an agency, if you're a coaching business, if you're a consulting business, if you sell courses online, what are they going to be outreaching to sell for you? Okay, so that's explaining your business and exactly what you do, the fundamentals behind that. We're not a new agency. We have full-time appointment setters on board, okay, so they feel comfortable coming on board. They don't think they're coming into a new agency, which people want to avoid. We're looking to bring on more, train more, again, giving that value first is showing like, look, we're going to train you, and they'll be like, okay, at least I'm coming into something that I could get trained for, which in turn makes them want to obviously join your company more. So this is a great opportunity to improve your skills, again, showing that we care about them the most, and the value is going to be with them rather than us, and scale with a great company. Okay, so that's just a little bit about us, getting them to know us. For requirements, you want to put, we are looking for appointment setters who will be able to, now where I put brackets is you put whatever you need it for. Okay, so like I just said a minute ago, I put a few here. So scrape business owners' emails, manage campaign tracking, work 7 days a week. The ones without the brackets you need, okay, so they need a reliable fast internet, because if you're waiting 5 years for lead, they will drain up your money. It sounds weird, and like the processor as well. Whenever I've shadowed some people before, their computer's too slow, okay, and let's say it takes, I don't know, 30 seconds for them to pull up an Instagram lead because it's loading. That's draining your money, okay, and you need to understand you're losing money because they're slow. So you need to make sure they do have a reliable internet, a 64-bit processor. So again, if they click something, it's gonna open straight away. It's not gonna really buffer and slow down. Okay, so you put whatever you want there, whatever you're looking for with the requirements. It could be social media, could be emails, could be absolutely anything. Okay, so you do that. Next, what we do is explain a little bit about the job role. So what are they actually going to be doing? So what right here, I've put a few things that they would be doing. So maybe like finding prospects on Instagram, sending outreach messages and follow-ups, adding prospects to data sheet, and tracking reply rate, etc. Okay, so that's a very simple sort of breakdown on what the job role would be for the appointment setter. So they know what they're coming into, they know what they're going to be doing and what they're expected to do. If they think they're going to be doing email outbound campaigns, and they end up doing, I don't know, Instagram outbound campaigns, they're two different separate things, entities that they're different. Okay, you need different skills for each thing. So hiring someone that does one and not the other is completely pointless. So make sure they know about the job role, because they should have some experience inside of that job. Okay, so we're looking for skilled appointment setters with experience, wanting to learn and improve their skills. Again, showing that value first, reciprocating tendencies. If we give them value, they in turn have to give us value back. Okay, and obviously grow and scale our company. If you show that you're going to grow and scale a company, they believe obviously they're going to be along with that journey. So in turn, they'll get paid more. They'll be with a company that respects them, that values them, and they will reap the benefits of that. So if this sounds like you, please send a proposal explaining a little bit about you. Now, what we want to do here, and I've seen it in a few times before, and I used to use it, is I used to put in numbers as well, and you can definitely put in numbers. Be like, if this sounds like you, please send a proposal explaining a little bit about you, adding the numbers, let's say 55. Okay, now what this does is it makes sure that they've actually read the job description that you've put out, and then they can reply back to it. What you can tell most of the time is if they've really copied and pasted it, or if they haven't. I think I've got a little bit on it here. Right, so when you receive back a message, look for effort and spelling. Again, if they've spelled something wrong, they're not going to be very good at outbound prospecting, are they? Because they can't spell. And then the effort that they've actually put into it. If they've just copy and pasted a message, which a lot of people do, you don't care, right? They're just applying for any job under the sun. They don't care about you. They don't care about your business. They're not going to care when they actually do their work, okay? So whoever wrote a personalized message, they care more and would be better to work with, okay? So make sure that you're looking out for that. Even put the numbers. So let's say you delete everyone that doesn't say 55 because they haven't even read the job post. How do you expect them to watch videos, watch VSLs, watch training videos, etc., on how you plan to scale your company with them on board? Okay, so once we've put out this job description, I'm not going to actually put it out, but exactly what you do for your artwork account and how we're actually going to send out the job post. Okay, now when everyone replies, we're going to go into the test trial. So this is step 3. Okay, so when they reply, send them a message thanking them for their proposal and the next steps to qualify. This will be a test trial on whether whatever they need to do. Okay, so send them a doc with this requirement, such as a perfect lead, how many they need to scrape. This allows them to understand. So what I like to do on that first page is be like, look, okay, so this is a job role again, just to reinstate what they're actually doing, what you expect from them, the wage again, so they understand that it is $3 per hour, what they're expected to do. So maybe it could be scrape 25 leads an hour and then send 25 messages the next hour, work 6 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, so you need to make sure that they understand exactly what you want out of them. So if you send it to them and then after they're not very interested, it'll be like, okay, I don't really care about this, I don't want this, like this isn't for me. Okay, so e.g. What you want to write is, hey X, so hey Michael, thanks for sending your proposal. If you can complete this trial so we can see where you're at, and hopefully once you send it in, we can jump on a call and bring you on board. Okay, so this makes them feel hopeful that you're going to probably choose them. You're sending the message and this could go successful if they complete the trial to the best of their ability. So most people that actually want it, so most people that send personalized messages are more eager to get the job. They care about the job a lot more. So then they're going to work extra hard in this to hopefully go through it. Okay, so I'm going to go into the test trial. I literally built this out in about 5 seconds. Yours will be a lot better than this, like a lot better. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a rough sketch of what it could be, because most of this is very sort of interchangeable. Okay, so you change whatever you want. Okay, so here are all the requirements of your perfect lead. Okay, so you want to add Loom videos after Loom. We have so many Loom videos from so ours may be different, so but we've got a Loom video of them setting up the account. We've got a Loom video on where all the outreach messages are. We've got a Loom video of how to find the perfect lead. We've got a Loom video on how to follow up. We've got Loom videos on conversational exchanges. We've got Loom videos on absolutely everything you can think of, and the reason for this is because once they go through the training, they watch every single one of the videos, they should have the exact same knowledge that you have on how to actually send this outreach message, which isn't too hard. They should be able to do, but you you have to treat them as if they are working for $3 an hour, because they are. Okay, they're not going to be the best of the best of the best, because they are working for that price range. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Make sure you provide tools, training, absolutely everything, instructions, everything that they would ever need to go through. Okay, so that's the instructions part. Above this, I would put all the requirements again. So here, if I can go to it, if I go over here, so this again could be about the job. So under here you could put $3, and then you could put doing X, 7 days a week, 4 hours a day, right? Just so they know, and then just underneath put like, look, if you're not willing for this, that's totally understandable. Let's accept that. Just unsubscribe. Don't carry on going through the rest of this. Okay. So once they've completed, make sure you want them to then go and do the instructions. Okay. So inside of the instructions, we want them to do something. Okay, so what I like to do is, let's say we're hiring a email outreacher. Okay, and their job as an email outreach email appointment set for us is to scrape and then send the email. Okay, so what we want to do is find so let's say they find, and I'd recommend you do this as a Loom. People get stuff a lot easier from watching someone do it, so you could show an example of you doing it rather than just text. So find five, what should we say, salons in, I don't know, in Germany. I don't know, it's really random, right? Find five salons in Germany. And then you can do a video on the exact prospect that you want. They could be doing this. They could have this type of site. They could be, depending on what you actually want them for. You're right. So it could be five salons in Germany. If you're a coach, it could be beginners in, let's say you're doing Amazon FBA. It could be beginners in Amazon FBA that we're trying to help. It could be new real estate agents doing, I don't know, 6 figures a year, struggling to get to 7. I could be a consulting business trying to do that. Okay, so that's what we want to be doing. And then we want them to put it in the outreach tracking sheet. So what we're going to do here is find out the quality of the lead, obviously if they are lead scraping, how they use the data sheet, because this is pretty much all they're doing, and then if they can actually send the email perfectly and send the email properly. So maybe get a video of them putting it in the email, seeing if they compose it correctly, seeing if they put the subject line in the right place and all of that, and there's no mistakes, which obviously would not be good. Okay, so that's the instructions that we want them to go and obviously complete. Now, once they've completed it, you want them to add it to the Google Doc. Now, the Google Doc should look like this. Now, this is an outreach tracking sheet. If it will load, perfect. So you want them to understand this. So the profile URL goes here. So they'll just copy and paste the URL. And what we want to do is, so obviously for them, it'd be text. If you do, let's say five leads, it should be text. If you see them like messing up with like not interested or sent email or something like this, this is the outreach tracking sheet we use. I just copy and pasted it into a blank sheet. But yeah, this is just it. Even if, let's say, you were very heavily focused on using this sheet, you do a whole video on, look, okay, so when we send this text, we then go back onto our Google, we then go back onto a Google Doc. We find out when the follow-up is. So let's say the follow-up's in 3 days. Or 2 days or whatever, we just add the follow-up 2. If they become not interested, next time we say not interested. If they say yes, and let's say we're doing a Loom outreach structure, we say send email, etc. Okay, so you want to, that's pretty much for the instructions, just helping them out as much as you can, making sure they have absolutely all the tools that they could possibly need to scale your company, because you need to understand that they're only going to be as good as what you make them to be, as much as you provide them. So I would recommend you giving them the whole blueprint, okay, absolutely everything ever, so they are on the same page as you. They have access to the same knowledge as you do, so they can obviously do a similar, or if not the same job. Okay, so then you want to send it to your email. Okay, so you'll get a bunch of replies from this. So once you get a bunch of replies, and normally I think about per artwork post, we get about 30 proposals per one, which is quite good. So 30 proposals per one, let's say 10 are going to make it to the stage. Probably not even 10 are going to make it to the next stage. 3 to 4 to 5 are going to make it to this stage, okay? And you want to pick the people out of here that seem like, okay, that's a good lead. They've done that correctly. They've sent a Loom video of them outreaching to the perfect person, a great, whatever it is, okay? If they've passed the requirements that we're obviously wanting them to pass, because we want them to be on a baseline level, and that's why we put intermediate in our artwork job post, what we're looking for, because if they're complete beginners, we're fucked, okay? We're screwed, okay? We need them to have some competence. We need them to have some sort of understanding that will obviously help us. Okay, so step 4 is the interview. So when we find these people, we want to pick whoever's good. Okay, I was going to say 3 to 4, but whoever you get out of it, you could get 20 proposals. 10 of them could be amazing, and we take all 10. Just interview the best ones. Interview the best ones, okay? So for interviews, we want to ask a few questions. That's not what I want. So step 4 is asking the interview questions. Just get them to schedule a time on the Calendly or on wherever it is for them to check in with you and go on the interview. So when they join, just be like, "Hi, how are you?" You can pick up on a few things. It's not discriminative, but if you see someone in a not very good setup, if it sounds really bad, if stuff's really bad, if it doesn't look, you can sort of see from first glance. As a human, you can sort of get first impressions. Is this person going to be a bit dodgy? They're saying their internet's good. Does it not look that good? Okay, if you get what I mean. If there is their computer actually slow? Okay, so for the interview, you want to ask a few questions. So how long have you been in appointment setting, and when did you learn? Sort of get a bit of background about when they started, what they learned off of, if they've learned off of anything great. I know a few times I've had some people say to me that they've learned off some amazing appointment setters in the space that I know of. They've joined their courses, so I'm like, perfect, this is an appointment setter that I want to look for. They're invested in themselves, they're doing well, etc, etc. Okay, so what are some past jobs you've had appointment setting? Here we just want to discover if they've had past jobs in the past, if they've worked for consulting business, coaching businesses, if they've worked for agencies before. Who have they worked for? Okay, so then we can sort of get an understanding who they've worked for, why they've worked for. You can dig in a bit deeper. Why did you leave that job? What happened at the job? Did you do well? What were your statistics, etc, etc? Okay, so what is your average client retention slash job? If this is low, then there's going to be something wrong with the appointments there. I know sometimes we've literally had appointment setters. Not appointment setters, but media buyers even say to us like, "Look, we've worked for like, oh yeah, longest is like 2 months," and it's like, "Oh right, so there's a big problem with you, that there's a reason why agency owners don't want to work with you." Okay, there's a big reason why people don't want to work with you. Okay, and that's something to look out for, is finding the red flags inside of the people. Okay, so how much time do you have a day? Are you in school? Are you in college? Do you have any needs to attend to? I know some people may have college and may have school, and that gets a really big problem. I've now come to the realization that if they're in college, I don't actually hire them, because there goes through times where we've had like appointment setters or just team members in general, and they've gone, "Look, this is exam month, I need to revise, I don't have time." And it's like, look, fair enough, okay, I understand that you need to go do that, go do whatever you need to do in life, that's totally fine. But I need someone really reliable. I need this to sort of be their job. And $3 is the baseline. We are going to be adding commission on top of this. I don't think I've mentioned that yet, but you're going to have to add commission to your team. If they're booking many appointments, they're not going to stick with you if you're not adding commission. We pay stupid amounts of commission, okay? I know. Sometimes we've paid team members like $300 extra, okay, when their original wage is just 200. Okay, so it's even paying more, and you got to remember, in these countries that is a lot of money. I know some countries where the average monthly wage is like $170. So if you're paying them $500-600, they're in the top 1%. Okay, so it's about changing people's lives. Okay, so if leads are the not right quality, this could change for anything. Okay, so if they're not scraping leads, it's what we want to do in this one is find out, would they ask for help? What would they do to solve a problem? Okay, and that's what most of these ones are about. So past jobs and client retention, we want to see, do they have any red flags that people don't want to work with them? Do they have time? Okay, that's what we find here. Leads quality as standard. Are we gonna see, do they ask for help? Do they go again? Let's say if they change the question. Okay, if you were behind on your outreach for that day, what would you do? Okay, would you ask for help? Would you tell us? What would you do? Okay, you want to find out if they're honest and if they're trustworthy to put inside. Can you name a time you've taken direct feedback and implemented it? This is sort of laying on from the last question, being like, okay, what would you do to add on from that? Okay, what would you do if someone came up to you and said, "Oh, look, we'll do this different"? Have they implemented it into their business? Because if they haven't, and we've had people before who, and this is why I asked the question now, because we've had people before who we tell something and they've literally said, "No, this is better." And I'm like, the dynamic doesn't work, you're gonna have to leave the company, and they're like, wait, what? But make sure that that's in place straight away. Are you willing to undergo further training? This isn't really a question. This is more just showing value again. Are you good at communicating and working within a team? Again, this is for weekly calls. You need to make sure that they're going to be there, they're going to be attending the calls, and they can sort of speak to people. Okay. Is there anything you'd like to tell us? So obviously for this one here, if they don't say anything, that's a bad sign. If they say something, uh, that is a good sign, because they obviously are eager and they have stuff to tell you, and they want to obviously join your team. Okay, then you want to explain your company goals, your company values, to sort of sell yourself, sell where your company's going, sell who you are, sell what you do, etc., etc. Okay. So you want to look out for key values you want in your agency, okay? These people have all been vetted and good candidates to work with. So you need to decide on who you want to work with based on their attitude, their motivation, their eagerness to work, etc. When you get to the interview stage, I believe you've put them in the interview because they can all do the same job, okay? Especially for appointment setters, they can all pretty much do the exact same job. It's about who's more eager. It's about who shows them real key attributes and them key traits that you'd want inside of your company that would actually help you scale, rather than someone that just doesn't care too much. Okay. So, step 5 is the final training. So, unpopular opinion. Okay, I'm going to quickly put this out there, and I said it at the start. Do not hire an appointment setter if you have zero experience with outreach. This is because you'll not be able to build a successful outbound campaign for your appointment setters to use, so it'll be pointless and you'll be blaming them when it is really your fault. Okay, so start booking consistent calls and then hire an appointment setter. Unfortunately, if you are a coach, consultant, or agency owner, at the start of this, you're going to have to go through the trenches, you're going to have to go through the mud, and you're going to have to outreach yourself. I remember we sent so much outreach before we even got close to very good, and now we're at a point, a year in, where it's like, okay, this is perfect. Okay, we can pretty much write any script, and it's going to convert into a lot of booked calls. Okay, that's what we're good at now. Okay, so make sure that you do that. This is all about just automating your business and really scaling. So at the start, I would recommend you outreach at the start, because you have no idea how to build a campaign that will book calls, and you're just wasting money, you're wasting time, and you'll never learn if you're getting someone else to do it for you. You can't really read the room. You can't really, it's weird to explain, but you can't really understand, okay, this actually don't work. This works because, right, okay, you get me. Once you have a complete understanding of setting appointments, I would advise you to record looms on every part of the process. Okay, so this could be finding leads, messaging leads, replying to leads, following up on leads, adding data to the tracking sheet, how certain platforms work. Like I said at the start, you want to be just training constantly. Okay, they need to get an idea for the baseline. Once they get the baseline, it's your job to shadow them. Now, over time, once you hire your second, your third appointment setter, you'll just get your first appointment setter to shadow them, because you're not going to do it at the end of the day because you're busy doing other stuff. But for your first one, you want to shadow them until they're good enough. Okay, we have appointment setters inside of our agency who have been with us for a very long time, and we respect them and stuff like that. So we're like, okay, look, we're bringing on a new appointment setter. When are you free for a shadowing session so you can shadow them? Because they're the appointment setters now. That's their job to do. They know best. They probably know a bit more than us at this point. So they can actually go and do that a lot better than we can. So we make them go and do that. We pay them a little bit extra. It could be $10, $20 per shadowing session, but it's going to be worth it in the end. So make sure they're shadowing until you feel competent enough that they are doing the job right, until you feel like, okay, they know what to do, they can go off themselves, they're going to track everything, they're not going to make mistakes, they're going to do it, and they're going to make it very efficient of the money that I'm spending for the amount of outreach, the lead scrape, the data tracking, whatever it is to be done. Okay, so that's the final training, and that's sort of everything on how to hire it. It's a lot more of a simple process than you would have imagined. There's no secret to making your appointment setter do this. People spending thousands and thousands on appointment setters, when the real system behind it is very simple for you to do, especially at the start of your agency. If you are scaling it into multi six figures, it would be obviously a better idea if you pay someone to do this for you, to get that highest quality. But if you are just starting and you have a few clients and you're just starting to scale, then I would recommend you actually going to do this yourself. because it saves you money. And again, you can get experience on how to hire, how to build teams, and stuff like that. Okay, for a few tips at the end. Payment, I would recommend do Payoneer. That's always one that I get asked. To put them inside a communication channel, we've recently moved over to Discord because Slack, after a while, it doesn't seem cost effective to actually use it. So we've moved over to Discord with our team members. Um, and yeah, commission, I would recommend doing commission on you can do commission whatever you want. We do it on calls booked. But it's because our tickets our offers quite high ticket. So we do $10 per appointment booked. So let's say they're doing really well one day, they could walk around away with $50. Again, they have to be qualified prospects booked. So we have a filling out form before they book a call, and if it is a fully qualified prospect who is doing X amount of revenues, doing this, doing that, then we say, okay, we can give them the bonus, and we'll give them the bonus at the end of the month. Okay. So this is the exact strategy that we use, and is the exact strategy that I would recommend that you go and use inside of your business. Obviously, hope you enjoyed. If you are obviously an agency owner, coach, consultant, trying to scale your business and looking for like-minded entrepreneurs, there is a completely free Discord down below where you can connect with others. There's nothing, no strings attached, no affiliations, no nothing. You can just join if you don't want to join. Completely understandable. If you guys could like, subscribe, so obviously this can get shared to other business owners that are trying to scale. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this really helps you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.